Okay, we're not actually in the dark. We're doing a standard Sunday night show this week, and I'm gonna try to run through it as fast as I can. Not that much additional information, just wanna go over some things that'll prepare you for this week's trading. I'm drinking Tiger beer. I don't know, I've never had it before. I heard it was pretty good. I want to quickly go over the key thing. No one trusts the Fed right now. The Fed is actually claiming there is no inflation. There's evidence that consumer prices are dropping back down, but I just don't see it. I have friends in the East Coast. I have houses in the East Coast. I have a house here in Vegas. The house prices are still rising like crazy, and every time I go to the grocery store, it's a little bit more expensive. So where Jerome Powell's pulling these numbers, he's probably pulling it right out his own ass, but I just don't believe in that, and I think I'm not the only one. There are several Wall Street commentators as well as independent analysts not a part of Wall Street that also agree with that sentiment. There is inflation. There is a clear evidence of inflation, and not really evidence of it dampening. Retail sales were surging 0.8% on Friday. Sometimes with sales going up, no evidence of inflation. Usually it's a Goldilocks scenario for the market. I don't know if I buy it right now. The market tape as of last week was looking weak, but not super weak. I felt like most of the time the market did find the floor relatively easily and quickly. Even on Friday, it broke past the floor a little bit, but it wasn't a violent sell-off. So we'll see how the tape plays out this week. I would be on guard. My short positions are actually off right now, but once again, I'm willing to get back in. It's just one of those markets that if you are a short seller or someone like me who likes to position at least some positions short, you have to be very nimble because the Fed is just printing like there's no tomorrow. Sometimes, even if you miss out on a huge drop, that's just the cost that's just the business that we're in, essentially. So we'll see how the tape plays out Monday. I think there's potentially a lot more violence that can. I'm stuttering today, guys, sorry. Let me just drink some of this first. This is actually pretty good. I just wish they called it Frugal Tiger beer, or the beer was a little cheaper, so I can call it Frugal Tiger beer. But I actually stole it. I had some guests over this week, and they bought it for me, so I didn't spend any money. Anyway, so we have those two things possibly bolstering the market. Fed claiming there's no inflation, no one fucking believes the Fed, and retail sales up 0.8%, right? So those are two positives. Here's the negative for the market. That infrastructure bill, all the arguing in Congress over spending, that can actually weaken the markets. The key thing to really feel out is, are investors getting nervous? By the look of the tape on Friday, I would say they're a little bit nervous, but they're not freaking out, okay? So we're gonna see how this plays out. If you're short, potentially prepare to cover or potentially go short some more. I know it sounds bogus, but the bottom line is we're kind of at an inflection point. The market has been failing to rally above S&P 4520, and it seems like rallies are getting sold now. So this is a sign that potentially we can get a correction. Unless Jerome Powell busts out his printers again, which happens quite frequently. Anyway, watch the overall market. I basically trade S&P futures every single day. Anyway, let's go over some key names for this upcoming week. So I think the big movers need to be mentioned. IRNT and HLBZ. So IRNT has been playing out for about 2 weeks now. A lot of action in this name. Now, I do not recommend trading this name for everyone who watches the channel. You have to be very good at reading level 2. Basically the tape. You have to be good at reading the tape to trade this stock. This tape is like the Wild Wild West. So unless you're really familiar with watching level 2s, I would avoid the name. But for those who are trying to dabble into Very volatile stocks. This is a good name for you. I think it'll still move a lot next week, and I'm expecting it to go the same way we saw support.com react a few weeks back, where it had a huge bump up and then it basically just sold off. So IRNT and HLBZ, insane movers. HLBZ, I literally think is just gonna get dumped on. We'll see. But the reason I'm bringing up HLBZ is they had a huge deal with Fox. Potentially, you can see a continuation of the move, though I doubt it. All right, moving along, let's go over some other names. Plug seems to be pretty close to a point where it can break above resistance. It's at $26.48. That's Plug Power. And the reason I'm mentioning this stock now is it's heavily correlated. There's another company heavily correlated, Fuel Cell, which had earnings last week. It had a huge move off of earnings, but both of these stocks, Plug and Fuel Cell, are going to be heavily affected by the infrastructure bill that everyone's arguing over. So if that bill gets passed, that's a lot of money that is going to be invested from the government in the hydrogen plays. Plug may be a buy in that case. I would really watch it. I don't ever recommend buying things directly. I try to avoid that all the time, you guys. Just watch the overall tape, watch the charts, pay attention to Plug, pay attention to Fuel Cell. Despite Fuel Cell being cheaper, it's more speculative. I think there's a lot of analyst estimates on Plug Power anywhere from $34 to about $44. So a lot of analysts do think it's undervalued. Just because I don't trust the analysts doesn't mean most of the public will not listen to the analysts. There's a good chance Plug Power can go higher from here. Certainly if that infrastructure bill gets passed at the figures that they're talking about. Anyway, so earnings this week. Oh, one more thing. So you guys know I went crazy a few months back. I put pretty much, I think right now it's at 37% of my entire portfolio into one stock. Well, Palantir stock seems to be broken above its resistance. It basically was failing to rally above $26.40 for a very long time. It's at $29 right now. I'm pretty happy about that. Depending on the action this week, I may sell just a little bit because I have just insane amounts of exposure to the name, but it literally depends on how the actual action of the stock plays out. So Palantir, that's my last thought before the actual earnings this week. Monday, we have Lennar, L-E-N. I mention this every earnings season, usually a great earnings trade. Tuesday, FedEx. FedEx is a less volatile earnings trade, but it's also an earnings trade you should pay attention to. On Tuesday, we also have Adobe. Adobe is probably a better play in terms of volatility. And ACV, which is a marijuana ticker. Marijuana tickers are always great trades. I would probably even say Adobe and ACB you can trade the next few days after. Wednesday, we have a Wall Street bet, BlackBerry. So everyone knows BlackBerry's dead, but because of Wall Street bets, there's going to be a lot of action in this name. So watch that Wednesday. Thursday, we have Costco, we have Nike, and we have Accenture. So Costco, ticker symbol COST, Nike, ticker symbol NKE, and Accenture is ACN. So watch those three names on Thursday. So that's my roundup. I wouldn't be so focused on other names right now. Space is also kind of coming out. Now, people are like, why are you investing in space or whatever? And I'm not investing in space, I'm trading space. It kind of has the Elon Musk-like effect where you have a celebrity as your main spokesperson. He's a celebrity now. And the same thing is true with space. That's why I pay attention to it so much. And that's why space, I always felt like never sold off as much as it should and keeps getting bid back up eventually, even when it goes through rough patches, is because at the end of the day, people like Richard Branson, and I don't blame them. If I look like Richard Branson, people would like me too. So anyway, those are most of the tickers I wanted to talk about. I can't think of anything else. I'm actually staying away from the Chinese names. There's a lot of stuff happening in China right now, a lot of crackdowns. There's rumors that a Chinese bank is going to default on $300 billion worth of loans. So for that reason, stay clear of all Chinese stocks, ADRs, etc. Maybe you can still watch NEO if you're in for it, but as a trade only. Anyway, that's it for me. Grab yourself some Tiger beer and let's try to make some money this week.
I just want the money, 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 money.